It's been another amazing retreat. VIEQUES is always a wonderful, sort of event. I think we extract ourselves from our daily lives in the city or wherever we may work in the industry, and it's a sort of natural, safe space. And so the conversation is really open. And when it's open conversation and dialogue with the smartest, people in the industry, it's a little bit hard not to, just be stimulated and sometimes overstimulated. I think what the resounding conclusion that everyone had, and it has converged upon at the end, is that it's really hard right now. It's not just hard for marketers, it's really hard for publishers and broadcasters and programmers and just sort of, media companies in general. And I think, that's where I'm kind of doing the deepest reflection, right? That's my customer, the sort of sell side of the business, large media companies. And, we're talking about the fact that none of us are using the same language. We all throw around words. We don't mean the same thing. So if as an industry, we don't have the same language, or we use the same words but mean different things, how can we possibly share the same set of goals and get to the place together, right? So I think that's a big part of it. I think we all sort of signed up and said, we have responsibility as leaders in our industry, specifically those that are driving change through technology and innovation, to get us all converged on the same page, right? I think the second thing that was really notable to me is that, there are larger macroeconomic challenges. These are business challenges, not ad tech challenges, right? The fact that the cost of content creation has, not necessarily reduced at the same pace of the cost of distribution or other things, right? That the economics of being a broadcaster are challenged because the plurality of the revenue has always been subscription, and that's eroding. But the digital, it's still digital dimes to TV dollars, if you will. So we have a shared need, and there's shared value in helping us collectively figure out the industry's challenges, right? It's not as simple as more ad load or a different video format like Outstream instead of a pre-roll. This is not black or white or mutually exclusive. It's about really understanding that media is going through an industrial revolution, a media revolution, and that means that what it is today is not what it will be in 5 years. And so we have a great responsibility to kind of figure that out. And I think, from my perspective at Furious, the way we look at it is that, the enterprise of media has kind of been siloed and disparate, right? Digital and traditional media have been separate P&Ls, for a long time. They're now finally coming together. But then if you roll that up even more, the businesses of licensing or, syndication, right, where there's a subscription-based revenue model by a content owner versus the advertising model, have been separate P&Ls for a long time as well. And I think the realization that we need to have is that ultimately this is about how do we help media companies be successful, and how are marketers part of that value exchange, right? It's not just through advertising and CPMs and GRPs, it's really about a shared value proposition of making audiences happy by giving them the content they love and letting brands participate is the real value proposition. So I think, at Furious, what we're doing is really looking at how do we connect the enterprise of all the disparate systems that deliver to all these siloed businesses and mediums and sales channels, and how do we actually provide a set of business planning tools to really plan, optimize, and maximize your revenue, right? And what I have a greater sense about every day is that right now at a point in time, we're tackling, video, the convergence of television and premium digital video. But what I really am walking away with affirmed is that our long sort of tail view of the idea of collectively how a media companies, a content creators, P&L, top line revenue is impacted, is going to ever increasingly collapse upon one another. That the syndication guys and licensing guys sit in the West Coast, ad sales guys sit in the East Coast. They have two separate P&Ls, they don't talk. That's not how it's going to be tomorrow. And so we really need to think about, I'm thinking about how we build an adaptable sort of enterprise solution that really allows a media company to look at the entirety of its revenue across all of its products as a portfolio of assets to maximize, and then really understand how it uses its own inventory as well to better inform how it's driving audience in whatever form that audience value exchange may be, whether it's subscription, it's ad subsidized, or it's something else. But we have to evolve our thinking beyond campaign level, transaction, impression level delivery into real asset management and product sort of, merchandising, productization, pricing, and planning. And I'm actually excited because I think there's a lot of opportunity for all of us to participate, because there are a lot of problems to be solved. And we're going to do a much better job of servicing our industry and our audiences if we choose to solve them together instead of apart.